Apparently we are now live. So let me get the agenda up here real quick.
So I will take this one. Good morning, good evening, everyone, everywhere, wherever you are. This is Tyler Yonker, aka Mrs. Yonks, along with Yonks.eth, Jason Yonker, and we are super excited to bring you our first welcome to Web3 call. We're doing this just as a way to onboard everybody, welcome them, answer questions, and this format's gonna be pretty casual. We're gonna be on for about 30 minutes. And the whole idea is to give you an idea of what Web3 and DAOs are, how they work, and just how you can get involved. Real quick, 30 minutes, answer any questions. So with that, would like to turn it over to you, Jason.
Thank you for hopping in there, Tyler. Was not expecting to be live when we did, and getting ready to fire up the screen share here just momentarily, pulling stuff off the window because it's normally that we're starting a few minutes late, not a few minutes early, but didn't have all of the details in there on the live stream. And then when I was putting them in there, I clicked on the button to go live. So that is what it is. But as Tyler was indicating, this is our very first Web3 and DAO onboarding. We do love DAOs, and true story, and I don't even know if I can start saying this, it's been about a year since have been in crypto. And let me get this live stream or the screen share going here real quick. So I've got the thumbnail that I was wanting to go live with, and let me do the screen share in Zoom here real quick. All right, so let me get the agenda opened as well, and the link on that. We do have a Discord, and let me actually go there to the Discord channel. And I don't know if everybody is in, we have our link, we have a live stream channel here in Discord, and I've got streamer mode already enabled. So let me actually bring that over onto my screen. And I'll put the agenda in here that we've got. Again, this is our first one of these. And I'm going to put in there, hello, everyone. So would you like to do a quick introduction, Tyler? I know that you did a little bit, but
yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
So a couple things. Jason and I got into Web3 originally. Jason started in a clubhouse room called Crypto and Coffee, and it was a daily podcast / discussion room where people were talking about all things crypto. He got really into it. He got me into it. And we realized there's a couple of things. When I first started, I didn't realize that Web3 people and DAO people and NFT people and blockchain people and crypto people, I thought those were all the same group. And if they weren't the same now, they wanted to be the same. And I realized pretty quickly they're all very different. People who are in Web3 don't necessarily know anything about DAOs. People who are in DAOs don't always do crypto, blockchain, this kind of thing. So what we wanted to do was start a welcome to Web3 of just saying, what is Web3 and what is a DAO? And 30 minutes is not enough time to cover either of those. We want to do something really high level. So I'll just go ahead and get started with that. Our very first DAO was called REtoken, and the purpose of REtoken was to solve global affordable housing. Pretty lofty goal, but we realized that there's a ton of money looking for assets, and there's a ton of people looking for affordable housing that are outside the traditional capital stack. And this is not just a US-based problem. This is definitely a global problem. And so that was the first DAO that we started. And then we realized that there is a huge need for education. So we started a virtual summit DAO called Token Summit DAO. And we wanted to actually build the housing with affordable housing that we're raising the money on the blockchain. So we started Token Town. And that's kind of how we got started. And this passion around education was based on, could we create a true meritocracy where there's no CEO, there's no vice president of operations kind of dictating people down through a corporate chain? What if we just said, you want to jump in, you got an idea, share it. If anything's controversial, let's vote on it and let's just make it work. So really got to love this DAO infrastructure, and wanted to kind of go through the nuts and bolts of what that looks like and how it works. And then on Web3, Web3 is not nearly as mysterious and complicated as I think people want to make it. It's just a non-centrally controlled version of the internet. So there is definitely a lot more nuances to it. Time-Ed, great question. A DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. What a DAO can be a company, but it doesn't have to be. So in the US, you can actually file an organization called a DAO LLC if you want to have a legal structure. Jason and I do form our companies as legal structures. That's a choice. There are a lot of DAOs, including DAOs with thousands and thousands of members or millions and billions of dollars that don't have a legal structure. It's not required. It's just something that we think is a best practice, but it's basically just an organization. Yeah, we choose to follow US law, and US law says if you have a limited liability company, you have some ability to limit your liability. Again, DAOs are global, and they are usually either anonymous or semi-anonymous. And a lot of times when you're dealing with Ski Nerd and Monkey Racer and this guy and that guy and whatever, you have no idea who people really are, what countries they're in, or what laws apply to them. So DAOs are going to be a really, really interesting field of law for probably at least the next 10 years. This is a great point. I saw that you had posted this in about I'm just reading this comment here. Social DAOs, investment DAOs. Yeah, there are a lot of different kinds of DAOs. The whole idea of a DAO is what purpose is the reason why you're coming together. It's the same. It's similar to why would you have a company? Why would you have a club? Why would you have any kind of organization? There has to be some sort of commonality of purpose or goal or mission. Otherwise, there's really no point. A lot of DAOs fail because they don't have sort of clarity of purpose. They're not trying to do anything. They just want to have a DAO because they've heard of it's cool. Those DAOs don't tend to rally anybody. DAOs that have really lofty goals can grow really quickly. You brought up Constitution DAO in your thing. That was a group of people that decided to buy a rare copy of the US Constitution that came up on an auction. And I think they raised like $40 million in under a month or something like that. I mean, it was insane. So they didn't actually end up getting the bid, but the Broncos, a US football team, is up for sale right now. And there's another DAO trying to buy a football team. So I mean, you can literally use a DAO for any purpose that you can use a company or a club for. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, and one of the things that we're doing that's kind of a new experiment here is we actually have a social token with our meetup group. And let me throw a link in there on the live stream to our meetup group. And is that how you met us, Sumit?
Yes, through meetup group, yeah.
Yeah, so, and that's one of the things, this is actually, I think we'll be doing an airdrop here, and that's one of the things on the agenda that we've got as far as, and let me actually show the Google Calendar here. There's a link to the Google Calendar. I'll put this link in there real quick too. So this is the meetup group that we were just referring to, that we're actually going to be doing an airdrop for COWIN. And again, this is the triple win. We really believe in creating triple win, win-win-win. Like Tyler mentioned, equitable housing is one of the underlying real world problems that we're looking to solve with what we're creating with blockchain technology. But the Google Calendar that I'm getting ready to show everybody here real quick, and let me open that window over here. So I use Brave Browser, got several different profiles. And this is the call that we're on right now, the Web3 and DAO onboarding. And again, this is our first one. We're looking forward to enhancing this time frame. This is something that we're expecting to run at this time. And depending on what the feedback is, we may mix that up a little bit. But after that, we're actually going to be doing a webinar. We'll talk about that coming up here momentarily. And then our flagship community call of the week is Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And another new thing that Mrs. Yonks and I are doing is we're doing a very, very casual, and that's not recorded, not live streamed via Discord, on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then one of the things that we love doing on Saturday morning is that we host a Saturday morning book club. We just started a new book last week, The Art of Impossible, and that's 11 a.m. And most of this stuff will go through that meetup group that I just linked up there. So Token Summit, I saw a comment there in the Zoom chat. Token Summit DAO is another one of our projects, and I don't know if we'll get into that here today. Right now, we're focused on a Blockchain Bootcamp for real estate, and that's taking what we learned from Token Summit and then really leaning into the use cases around real estate and the opportunities that blockchain technology will bring to the real estate industry through technology. A lot of opportunity for processes. And we really are fans of real estate tokenization, and that's a longer conversation altogether. So did you want to do a quick introduction here, Tymed? I saw that you have a Lay Day DAO icon or image there on your profile. Feel free to give yourself a quick introduction here, and welcome to our live stream today.
Yeah, how's it going? I'm just learning like everybody else. I've been involved in DAOs, like Spork DAO and a few other DAOs that I can name off. But anyway, so my point is that I'm just learning like most individuals, 2 years of doing it, and just having more use case scenarios that we're able to actually use. And as an example, I was working with a few different real estate agents in Calabasas and Silicon Valley, and with different houses we were trying to put on the market. The title holder didn't necessarily see a benefit for them to actually use that at the time. So yeah, Lady Day DAO is basically it's a DAO for minorities, women, empowerment basically, and we've been dedicated to trying to help the children basically. So Timed, TYMED, is teaching young minds every day, and we've been doing that for a while, since before we established DAO on the 25th of January this year. Now it's just the question of the tokenomics and how they're going to be used in regards to the future.
Well, looking forward to working with you here and hearing more about that. That's one of the things why that we do an event like Token Summit, is that we really want to collaborate more in the ecosystem. And one of the things that we're looking really to do here with the meetup group that referenced earlier, and let me actually bring that open. Here's the event here for today's meetup group. And then just going back to this one, Meetup is actually going to be a strong component in our expansion strategy. We actually put forward a soft proposal here a couple weeks ago to expand into Texas, Tennessee, and Florida, and that's something that we're looking to do here in April. So anyway, moving on down here. So why participate? Did I mention that we have fun? Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, hey, but before you do, one of the things I just wanted to mention to Tymed's point was, one of our favorite things about Web3 is because anonymity is sort of accepted. There are so many barriers of entry that we have the opportunity to break. So people that don't fit in a corporate box for whatever reason, or they've been discriminated against, doesn't matter. None of that matters in Web3. So that's one of the things we're most excited about, some of the equality opportunities. And we just have to get people to just jump in and start participating. So we're super excited to partner with you on that.
And wanted real quick to recognize Sumit. We actually nominated Sumit on Sunday during our working group. We have a weekly reoccurring working group on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, here with Easter Sunday coming up on this coming Sunday. We're taking a week off from that working group, but Thank you for plugging in new community member of the week, Sumit. Did you want to do a real quick introduction here on our Web3 and DAO onboarding live stream?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm from India, and currently I want to switch to Web3 development part. So by searching on Meetup to connect with some like-minded people, I got to know about this Web3 DAO Foundation. So I joined it, and this is my second, or you can say third meetup with this group, and I'm enjoying it and wanting to know how and how group is going to work on the real estate.
Yeah, and we can't say enough as far as the opportunities that blockchain technology will provide. And REtoken, the real estate DAO, we're a content DAO. We're talking a little bit about that. We're looking forward to working with you, Sumit. We've already had experience with helping a developer transition from Web2 developer to Web3 developer, and he's really enjoying it's a very different type of culture that exists here in Web3. It's much more inclusive and much more equitable. And we've already talked a little bit about equitable housing. We're going to be talking a lot about equitable housing here in 2022. It's a huge need and opportunity, and something that most people aren't even familiar with that topic, because it's a barrier of entry that continues to get most globally, I think, continues to go up and up. So why participate in Web3 or with what we're doing here? We love having fun. And again, this meetup group isn't only about Triple Win Foundation. We're really wanting this to, and that's one of the reasons that we created a separate social token for this meetup group. We really want to get some traction, and really one of the things that we are committed to being great at here in 2022 is asking for and receiving feedback from our community. And that's one of the things that we're also going to incentivize with some tokenomics as far as participating in various feedback mechanisms. So learn with us. We build in public. We are a rewarding community, and right below that, we've got social tokens, and I've got a link here. I'm actually going to put this in the live stream in case anybody is watching this on the live stream as well. And HTTPS social token. So go take a look at that, and it actually redirects to a Notion page here. And going back to the agenda. So we've actually got 3 different social tokens that we're going to be rewarding here today. We've got REtoken, Affiliate Marketing DAO, and CO Win, and that's for the meetup group. And I don't know if I'm going to take time to do all 3, because it does take a little bit. And if Tyler, Mrs. Yonks, doesn't have your wallet address, make sure that she gets that so that we can do that here coming up. And Blockchain Bootcamp for real estate. This is one of the, I'm actually going to open up this profile here real quick. And Blockchain Bootcamp for real estate, I'm just going to go to the homepage here, ret.team. We have, and this is a very, very rudimentary landing page for buying our ticket for Blockchain Bootcamp for real estate. One of the things that we're going to create a bounty for here in April, we talked about that last night on our working group, is to do a new theme for our WordPress. But this is the NFT. This is the 1-year pass. Working the last 9 or so months in this space is the need for education. And that's one of the things that we're really looking to do through this boot camp. And it's going to be a 1-year pass. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is having a webinar come up. So the other thing I was wanting to show here is Unlock Protocol. We are huge fans of using Unlock Protocol. And I need to throw in the password here real quick. Use MetaMask for the password stuff. And this is a hot wallet. This is the REtoken, or no, this is actually the Blockchain Bootcamp, camp.ret.eth hot wallet that we have here. And this is the dashboard for Unlock Protocol. And we've currently have 10 NFTs in circulation. And I can't remember if I have a link to this on OpenSea. Anyway, I wanted to, so real quick, do we have the, for doing the airdrop on this, Tyler?
I'm just waiting for Timeout's wallet.
Okay, cool. So the other thing too, what have you seen? Like, where have your journeys taken you here, Sumit, as far as working on becoming a blockchain developer? Have you heard of Odyssey DAO?
Which one?
Odyssey DAO?
No, I'm just new to DAO.
Well, let me throw a link in here. So I'll just throw it in the live stream chat too.
So I just sent you TimeEd's wallet. So if Odyssey DAO is an interesting project. We met through ignore the raspberries in the background, it's my baby. Odyssey DAO is an interesting project that they're trying to onboard 1 million people into Web3, and they are teaching people how to be developers. So we'll get you connected with them, Sumit. There's also a really incredible cybersecurity project. Their founder is one of our members, White Hat DAO. They specialize in smart contract auditing and a lot of other safety measures. Web3 it's really exciting, but it's also really scary. There's tons of scams out there that are getting taken advantage of because they don't necessarily realize that giving people permission to get into their wallet is not something they should ever do. So one of the things we're really passionate about is teaching people things like what your seed phrase is, and why you should never give it out to anybody, and how you get a wallet if you don't have one, and just some basic safety stuff. So that's something else that really passionate.
Yeah, that sounds great. And I also want to connect with this Odyssey and want to know more about them. So I check it out.
Yeah, we'll get you connected with us right after this call.
And that's one of the things that we're really looking to do with this meetup group too, is just like we haven't spoken that much about investment clubs, but that's something that we're going to be talking a lot about here in 2022. I just literally here within the last 48 hours started playing a Solana based move to earn game that has socialfi and gamefi mechanics in it, and been doing quite a few tweets here the last couple days on that topic. So that's just kind of random stuff, you know. Mrs. Yonks and I were building a community at the start of the pandemic that was a mobile game, not anything to do with crypto, but we like having fun, you know, and the opportunity to collaborate, like sharing the relatable thing there to Sumit with the for Odyssey DAO, so that he can learn more about becoming a blockchain developer. So right now I'm getting ready to go to Coinvice. Coinvice is a social token platform that we have minted our social tokens on. And again, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do the all 3 of these airdrops, because we are rewarding 3 different social tokens here today. Because this is one of the things. Go ahead, Tyler.
Here, Jason. Why don't you work on the drop? I'm going to talk about what social tokens are and why we have them. So the whole idea of a social token is some kind of either, it can be ownership, it can be ownership, it can be governance rights, or it can be both, just depending on how the DAO is set up. But the whole idea is it's a proof of work or proof of participation. So one of the challenges that DAOs run into a little bit later on as they mature is going back over 6 months or a year and trying to figure out who did what, and it just gets really complicated. So one of the things that social tokens can do is to say, every time there's a meeting, if you participate, you get a bounty. Every time there's a project, if you do it, you get a bounty, that kind of thing. So it just makes it really clear on who does what, and things like that. So and in our particular DAO's case, the social tokens represent governance. And right now, so we're super clear on this. We don't provide any liquidity on our tokens, which means you can't buy them, you can't sell them. If and when that happens later on, that is going to be a different conversation. So we just want to be super clear with people that because we're based in the US, we follow US securities laws. We don't believe that you can create liquidity for your own tokens that you're issuing unless you're doing it through a broker dealer. So some DAOs take a different approach on that. We think the law is unclear and we're probably going to end up leaning toward ours. And that's why we're doing it that way. But when we issue tokens, you immediately get governance rights in the DAO. So as soon as you're a REtoken holder or an AFM DAO holder or any of our other DAOs, anything that we vote on that day forward, you get a vote. Nobody can take your tokens away. You can earn more. If you need to step away from the project, you get to keep them. So it's, yeah, but that's the reason why we do the tokens that way. And that's kind of the purpose of it. The last thing is we want to make sure that people know that they can come in and start participating right away. You don't have to be hired like a job. You don't have to try out for something. You don't have to wait to propose an idea. If you want to come in and start participating, just come on in. So that's the purpose of tokens, is you want people to have ownership in the organization as soon as they step into it.
So I was just finishing up the airdrop. I actually had to send a little bit of Matic over there. The airdrop on Coinbase is a two-step process. This is the first time that I've done an airdrop here with this hot wallet. So this is a very fresh social token. And this is one of the things that Mrs. Yonks and I are getting better at as far as doing airdrops like this in a much more timely manner so that we don't have a backlog, because it's a fairly decent process. So let's see, tokens successfully sent. And this is something that we started out with, I can't remember how many tokens that we minted. And this is something that we might have to adjust, and we're not sure, you know, like we've anyway, the tokenomics are another conversation for another day. So let me get that transaction record here. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. We're at the 30 minutes. Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, I was gonna say, while you're doing that, the one of the things that is super clear is there's anytime that you do something on the blockchain, there's a transaction fee. If you're doing something directly on Ethereum, there's a fee called gas that you have to pay, and the cost of gas depends on how busy the network is. So you're basically paying computers to process your transaction, and there's a bunch of different ways you can get your costs to go down, and those are more complicated concepts for later. But just understand that whenever you're transacting, because there's no central company or central person paying these fees, we all pay a little, and that's kind of how the network runs. And it is really important that when you're paying for something, you need to know what you're paying for plus what the cost of the gas is. That all goes together.
So send me a DM on Twitter if you want, at Yonks there, Time Ed. We've got a POAP for this. We don't have that set up right now. This is one of the things that we're trying to get better at as far as getting the POAPs delivered in a more timely manner. But I was going to go ahead, since so I don't have a backlog later. I was just hopping in here to do another airdrop for the AFM DAO, and just got to change this from 50 to 10 on the quantity. And that's, go ahead, Tyler.
So you mentioned POAP. So what a POAP is it's called Proof of Attendance Protocol, POAP. And what that is it's basically a little merit badge that says I was somewhere or I did something. It's a little circular design. It goes on your wallet. And it's pretty cool for two reasons. One is it's your forever record that says I was somewhere or I did something. And the second thing is as Web3 gets more and more popular, kind of it's going to be a standard of proof of community. Tymed, you asked about, do I get something if I have an earlier POAP? POAPs sometimes have utility, sometimes they don't. But the whole idea of POAPs is if you have a POAP, you can say that you were somewhere and nobody can ever say you weren't, because that's where you were. Anyway, so that's what POAPs are. That's why they use them. Occasionally people will use them for airdrops or special functionality. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. But the biggest thing about a POAP is it's your proof that you were somewhere, and that's going to get more and more important in the future.
Yeah, 2 days ago, I got a POAP from a Toronto meetup group. So they are giving the POAPs to the people who are participating in that meetup. So 2 days ago, I got that. So
well, welcome to the family. You're officially a POAPster.
What?
Said you are officially a POAPster. It's just a joke. Yeah, it's we have a girl in our community who's so helpful. She does all of our POAPs, and she is just super. So that's part of the reason why we have them for every meeting, every event, every in-person gathering. Because she's so awesome at it.
Well, just got the rest of those transactions sent there on the multi-send. And I think the last one is sending for the +10 REtoken for today's participation. And this is something that we're again going to work on getting some better feedback and really get this process refined as we are putting a lot of tools in place. And that's another thing that really love about what we're building here is the opportunity to learn a lot of tools. I'm learning way more tools than I learned when I was working in corporate America and startup corporate America, and then corporate India, and then even consulting and contracting for those as well. But anyway, does anybody have any final thoughts here? We're already 5 minutes past, and we've got to prepare for an upcoming webinar in less than an hour and a half.
Are these ERC20 tokens or 1155s? That was the question in that.
Yeah, so these are all ERC20 tokens. We do utilize DWork, and they have ERC 1155 for a proof of work aspect, and that's something that we'll be talking more about here in Q2. And then for Blockchain Bootcamp for real estate, and we've shown that a little bit over here, is a NFT ticketed, and that's one of the things that we have created opportunity with REtoken is to acquire the Blockchain Bootcamp for real estate ticket. We're offering that at 250 REtoken, not currently, but that's something that we have done, and we will have another window coming up here for anybody that acquires 250 REtoken by April 23rd. And we're not sure how long that opportunity will run. That's something that the community, reserve the right to change if it's not, or change the cost of that. But that's one of the fun things that we have offered here in season 1 of Blockchain Bootcamp for real estate. But anyway, the POAP that we've got here today, this is the video thumbnail, the POAP for today's event for those people that collect those. And let me actually throw a link in here to my POAP collection. So if anybody wants to see that, they can take a look at that on the live stream. This is my POAP collection with yonks.eth. So anyway, this was fun. Do you have any final thoughts, Tyler? Anybody else real quick here?
Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We hope to see you at Blockchain Bootcamp, and we'd love to have you get involved with the Triple Win Foundation and all of our many, many projects.
And make sure that you participate in the CO win. We did an airdrop for that ERC20 token. That will be the only way that people can participate in there. So we made an exception here for Tymed for you being on here today, but that'll be the only way for people to get those in the future is through the Meetup group. And this is the our foray into having a social token for our Meetup group. And the reason that we're doing that, again, Meetup is going to be a part of our expansion strategy. We're going to be launching Tennessee, Texas, and Florida. We'll be talking more about that here in the coming weeks. Anyway, thanks everybody. And we'll catch up on the next live stream.
Thanks, everybody.